Clark County's Department of Family Services message is a very simple one. Help us to improve lives and open your heart to a child in need, one adoption at a time. Lisa, open your heart to a child in need, help us to improve lives, one adoption at a time. Those are powerful words.
They're very powerful words, and for us in the Department of Family Services, they represent one of our most core missions, which is to achieve permanency for children. As we enter November, November is National Adoption Awareness Month, and so really for us, the entire month of November is about celebrating adoptions.
Really every day for the community and your department and a lot of people involved in this process, every day is Adoption Day, truly.
Truly, you're correct. Every day is Adoption Day. If you look at the number of adoptions that we do in a year, not all of them happen during the month of November. They happen all year long. And so rarely a day goes by that we don't have a court somewhere in this community that's finalizing an adoption for us.
Speaking of numbers, 427, 446, 719 the last 3 years, the number of adoptions. Those numbers continue to spike up. How is it looking this year?
This year, actually, we're expecting the number of finalized adoptions to dip down. We do expect that we'll finalize somewhere between 500 and 600 adoptions. So for us, this would be the second highest number of adoptions that we've ever achieved at the Department of Family Services, so still certainly something to be proud of. And we really this year have taken a look at the work that we do and trying to find a good way to celebrate not only the number of adoptions that we do, but also the number of family reunifications. Because we also believe in family preservation. We believe in being able to keep children safely with their own parents and being able to bring families back together again and keep them whole. So it's a combination of looking at, I think, when you talk about achieving permanency for children, not only the number of finalized adoptions that you have, but also the number of successful family reunifications you have.
In a perfect world, should that number be zero, the number of adoptions you go through each year then?
In a perfect world, I have to tell you, absolutely, the number should be zero, because that would mean that every child who comes into our system is able to safely reunify with their family. But the reality of the situation is we're never going to get to the number zero. We're never going to be able to safely return every child back to their biological caregiver. And when we can't do that, we look for the next best alternative, which is to find a permanent forever family for every child that we have who cannot safely return home.
Talk a little bit about the fostering process. Obviously, permanent adoptive parents are optimum solution you'd like to find, but fostering is hugely important as well.
Fostering is very important to us, and actually if you look at the number of finalized adoptions that we have and the percentage of families who came to us just with the intention of fostering and not adopting, what you find is that that's a very high percentage. About 80% of the children that are adopted through us are adopted with their foster families. So it's an unintended consequence sometime of being a foster family is really you take these children into your home, you prepare yourself to work with their biological parents to help improve their parenting ability and to help get that child safely home. But when that can't happen, oftentimes you as a foster family decide to keep that child within your own family and you move to adoption. And so many of the foster families that we have who come to us just simply saying, I just want to foster. I want it to be a temporary arrangement. But temporary and children don't often go hand in hand because you fall in love with them. And so when the opportunity presents itself, you're usually more than willing to make that child a permanent part of your family.
Fantastic. November, I know, is a very special month for everyone in the department. Adoption Day, it's going to be your 11th annual celebration this month. Talk to us a little bit about how special that November 15th is going to be this year for you.
It's going to be really special to the Department of Family Services and the community as a whole. National Adoption Day is really a day where across the country you see all child welfare agencies, all court systems celebrating the ability to finalize adoptions. So on November 15th, we will start early in the morning at 8:30 and we'll do a small ceremony at the family court complex, and then we'll move from there directly into the courtrooms where we will have multiple judges from all across the state who come to us on that day to help finalize more than 50 adoptions. It's an amazing day. It's a day of celebration. Rarely is there a dry eye in the place because you just can't help but be moved to what's happening in that environment and seeing so many children achieve their forever families.
Who do you have to thank for that program or for Adoption Day? Who is really truly involved in that?
It is completely a collaborative effort between the Department of Family Services and many of our community leaders and our community partners. So, for this particular day, we have Commissioner Lawrence Weekly, who will be doing the opening for the ceremonies. We have Judge Frank Sullivan, who will also be participating in those opening ceremonies. We have, again, multiple judges that will come and will hear adoptions through that day. We have CASA and the CASA Foundation who support our efforts there. We have the Children's Attorney Project who have attorneys who represent those children. We have pro bono attorneys who come from within the community to represent the adoptive parents. And so what you see on that day is not only a celebration of children and families, but it's a celebration of community and the many people who come together to make adoptions happen.
Adoptions aren't just finalized once the child is into a home. Obviously, your department and the community at large continues to work with families with adoptive parents throughout the year and to help them, support them. Talk a little bit about some of the efforts you do year-round.
We have many efforts that we do year-round to support not only the children who come into our system, but just the children who live in our community. One of the important messages around child welfare and around fostering is that not everybody may be equipped to be a foster parent. They may be at a point in time in their life where they just can't make that commitment to a child. But most of us are in a position where we can make some commitments to children in general. And so what we try to encourage the community to do is to really think about what is it that you have to offer to children. It takes a village to raise a child. So if you look across the community and the people who impact the lives of children, you have teachers, you have coaches, you have mentors, you have big brothers, you have big sisters, you have a whole host of entities and individuals who come forward to support children. We have many people who come to us and say, I don't have the time or the ability to be a foster parent right now, but I'd like to do something. Even if it's as simple as purchasing a gift card and making sure that gift card is donated to a teen who wants the latest iPod. And so we really look to our community partners to help us to share that message that you don't have to be a foster parent today, although we would certainly love it if you did, but you don't have to. There are many things that you can do for children in our community, for children in the child welfare system to support them. It can be as simple as a gift card. It can be as simple as donating your time to coach or to mentor or to tutor a student or a child who's struggling. So I think there are many opportunities for individuals in the community who want to participate in the child welfare system or who simply want to give back to the life of a child.
Lisa, we recently had the opportunity, and it was fantastic to see the Quality Parenting Initiative class run by Carol Schofer. Tell us a little bit about that, what that program's all about, and how that's helping improve what you folks are doing.
We are really excited about the Quality Parenting Initiative. I think I might be the one who's most excited about it. One of the things that we really have identified over the last couple of years, particularly with input of our community partners, is that we need to do a better job at maintaining and retaining the foster and adoptive parents that we have. And so much of the retention of foster parents has to do with the department's ability to support them and to support their needs in caring for children. And so we've looked at a variety of retention program efforts that are considered best practice across the country. And the one that we settled on in terms of implementation for us was the Quality Parenting Initiative. And the idea behind QPI is that you really make a concerted effort to have all participants in a child welfare system come to the table and dialogue about what they need in order to be successful in that system. So you have the voice of children, you have the voice of youth who participate in those discussions. You have the voice of foster parents, of caseworkers, of administrative staff. You have the voice of biological parents who, again, come together to really say, as a child welfare system, this is what I needed to be successful. This is the level of support that I needed. And they're tough conversations. They're conversations that not everybody wants to hear spoken out loud, but they really are the things that those individuals need to be successful. So what we've started to do is to move through the QPI process. We'll be holding 4 separate sessions throughout the coming 4 months where we work with all of those parties to have those tough discussions, with the goal being that at the end of that what we will have is a better idea of what everybody needs to be supported in the child welfare system, which will allow us to be able to go back to many of our program areas and our policies and to reevaluate how those programs or policies impact our ability to really meet the needs of the people who are involved in the child welfare system. So for me, I really look at this as a good opportunity for us to be a more responsive agency to our partners and to better meet the needs of children. Because at the end of the day, all of the adults who work in this child welfare system, our number one primary goal is to meet the needs of children. That's what we're all here for. And so I think it gives us an opportunity to really settle firmly on that track.
Sure appreciate you being here and spending some time with us and telling us about the amazing work you do.
Thank you.